A lot can happen in a week. Some of it good, some of it bad, some of it downright ugly. When faced with intriguing developments in the week's news, we turn to a rotating panel of non-experts to parse the good, the bad, and the ugly of it all. On today's panel, Charles Kuffner, who writes the Off the Cuff political blog, and Marcus Davis, owner of the Breakfast Club restaurant. Charles, Marcus, welcome back to Houston Matters.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Panel, spring may be over in Houston. While we technically have about a month before the summer solstice, which is the official start of summer here in our part of the world, temperatures in the region this week are breaking records, some set over 100 years ago. On Tuesday, we saw a high of 95 degrees, which topped a record of 94 set in 1907. On Wednesday, we hit 96, which exceeded a record of 93 set in 2018. And today, as we record on Thursday, we're looking at a predicted high of around 94, which would at least tie another record in 2018 of 94 degrees. But wait, there's more. According to Space City Weather's Eric Berger, while the urban core of Houston will remain in the 90s, some areas north and west of Houston proper might have seen isolated 100-degree readings this week. Eric also says that the high-pressure pattern we're experiencing right now causing our current heat does not bode well for the next few months of actual summer. Houston is breaking temperature records this week, and summer hasn't even started yet. Is this good, bad, or ugly? Charles Kuffner.
Well, of course it's bad. No one wants to see the temperatures like that, especially not at this time of year. However, I kind of want to see if we can maybe recast this a little. You know, on the rare occasions when Houston suffers, a freeze or a cold spell, people up in the snow-having states will point to us, as we're losing our minds over temperatures in like the upper 20s and laugh at us for not being able to handle weather that they consider to be maybe moderately chilly, maybe. But then when summer comes around and the temperature gets above 90 where they all want to go hide in the refrigerator and we laugh at them. So I just want to say, Houston, I know you would have preferred the hot weather to take its time getting here, but just remember, this is an opportunity to show all those Yankee states that we are in fact made of sterner stuff, and this is now our time to shine.
Marcus, what do you think?
I was about to talk about this is hellaciously ugly, but I don't know how I can follow that.
Mind over matter.
Anytime you said Yankee, speaking of New York Yankees, anytime we get to show them how much better we are than them, of course I'm going to take full advantage of it. Yeah, this is ugly, but I have to say, it was not until I read the notes for the show that I actually knew that it was this warm. It has not felt super high. So I guess this is the measurement of the humidity is where the difference is. Because, normally in the summer when it's 95 degrees and you walk out, you're like, oh my God. Today I didn't do that. That makes it not so ugly.
Yeah. No, I agree. That first day when we supposedly set a record at like 94 or whatever, I thought, I only thought it was in the high 80s. I didn't think it was that bad.
I didn't walk out of my office or get out of my car and just, here we go. Yeah. But, as I tell people, Houston has great weather for about 9 months. We have to deal with about 3 months of this. And the rest of the time, if you think about it, we have really good weather, particularly around, October all the way through now. So, it's just the price we have to pay for the other 9 months, right? So it'll be okay. But I'm with you. I take full ownership of being able to show the Northerners, hey, we know how to handle this.
Damn right.
Panel, a bill in the Texas legislature could bring a major change to HOV lane eligibility for Texas drivers. House Bill 2462, a proposal from Plano Representative Jeff Leach, would change the requirements for vehicle occupancy to allow for both pregnant women and mothers to use high occupancy vehicle lanes regardless of how many people are actually present in their car. You may recall one of the stories that inspired this bill. A Dallas area woman who was pregnant at the time was pulled over in 2022 for driving in an HOV lane, seemingly unaccompanied. She argued that, due to the new abortion laws at the time, her fetus counted as a second passenger. Shortly after that incident, Leach filed a similar bill during the last session in 2023, but it didn't go anywhere. As reported by the Texas Tribune's Eleanor Klibanoff, this year's bill was originally specific to pregnant women at first, but after some discussion, an amendment was added that stipulated that all mothers, expecting or not, would be eligible to use HOV lanes with no additional passengers. The bill successfully passed the House and has since been referred to the Senate Transportation Committee. Moms and soon-to-be moms might have unlimited access to HOV lanes in Texas. Is this good, bad, or ugly? Marcus Davis.
This is interesting. So listen, I remember when the law was first passed, right? The whole abortion thing went up. And I remember reading and seeing, but this one in particular that listed all of the other benefits that a pregnant woman should have if, in fact, the fetus is counted as a child. Like tax benefits, like I should be able to do this, I should be able to do that if it's already a living, breathing being. I remember that well. And so this is one of those benefits. Yeah, if you're saying that this is a baby in her stomach, then yes, she probably should be able to ride in the HOV because she's riding for two. Just doesn't matter that both passengers are in one seat. I think it's pretty quirky. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I do take a little bit of an issue with the extension of that legislation to all women. Nothing against women. I have a lot of women in my life, my mother, my daughter, my wife, of course. But I feel slighted as a man that I don't get the same privilege. I mean, think about it here, and I'm going somewhere with this, so be patient with me. Here we are in that midpoint between Mother's Day and the Forgotten Father's Day. Right? Mothers already get all of the, restaurants do their maximum sales. The retail industry does billions of dollars more for Mother's Day. I walk in to get my wife and my mother a card, and the shelves are empty. I've never seen an empty shelf on Father's Day. So mothers already get all of the glit and the glamour. If we're going to extend that privilege, then it should be for the seed producer as well. So I want my privilege in riding in the HOV because I am the donor.
Okay. Charles Kuffner.
Charles is looking like...
I mean, I'm not going to touch any of that. I'm just going to say this. On the one hand, I don't care. Whatever. They're HOV lanes. I mean, you could argue that HOV lanes, although they're supposedly there to incentivize, carpooling, they don't do that. I mean, most places that have them also have, the toll lane for single drivers. I mean, they're extra capacity, fine, use it, I don't care. On the other hand, if this passes, I'm just kind of curious. Next time, constable pulls someone over and she says, oh, I'm actually a mother, my kids are just not here right now, they going to take her word for it? How's she going to prove that? You may as well make this for all women, in which case, I do not want to hear the arguments that the Republicans will make about, biological women versus trans women, because all of that is garbage. But my point is, how is this going to be enforced? Mm-hmm. When an HOV lane meant more than one person in the car, you could kind of tell when a car was driving past, that person's driving solo, or that car has 3 people in it. But now the constables or sheriff's deputies or whoever it is that that patrols these roads, they're going to see a single woman driving past and say, well, she looks like she's had kids, or nope, I don't think that woman's had kids, I'm going to pull her over. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
right?
Got to make some pretty quick snap judgments.
So
there.
I mean, again, I don't really care who uses the HOV lanes or not, but this is ridiculous.
Panel, remember HBO Max? That was the original name of Warner Brothers Discovery's streaming service that features content from a variety of its subsidiary studios and channels, including HBO. Well, sort of. First, we actually had HBO Go, then we had HBO Now, then HBO Max, and from there, they rebranded the service as just Max in 2023, in part to indicate the service's broader options beyond just HBO programming. Well, guess what? It's HBO Max again. Yes, citing increased profitability that is due to prioritizing things like the HBO brand, Warner Brothers Discovery has gone right back to where it started to rename their popular service. In a press release, the company says, quote, returning the HBO brand into HBO Max will further drive the service forward and amplify the uniqueness that subscribers can expect from the offering, end quote. David Zaslav, the president and CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, says, quote, today we are bringing back HBO, the brand that represents the highest quality in media, to further accelerate our growth in the years ahead. HBO Max goes from just Max back to HBO Max again. Is this good, bad, or ugly, Charles?
I just want to point out that one of the marketing slogans that they used when HBO Max became Max was, Max, it's the place to find HBO, you know? And I would also like to point out that David Zaslav, the genius who brought us all this, made something like $52 million last year. I could have made the same stupid decisions he did for a lot less money than that. There are many examples of why CEOs are grossly overpaid. That kind of CEO, I mean, it's serving it up on a platter. So it is good that HBO Max is now HBO Max again. Why it ever wasn't HBO Max or HBO something, I couldn't tell you. But clearly I'm not paid like David Zaslav to make these decisions.
Marcus.
I will join my friend in concurring because he could have saved a lot of money if he just asked me. This is branding 101, right? And listen, I understand when you're trying to detach in order to grow, but the horse that's pulling the cart is so strong. I mean, HBO's brand is so. If I looked at something and saw it said Max, I would like, okay, Max, what is that? I have no idea. But if I saw it said HBO Max, now I'm intrigued because I know this brand. People consume based on what they're familiar with. They are comfortable with things that they are familiar with. I would be unfamiliar with Max, so I would be uncomfortable with it. But if I saw it was an HBO product, a brand that I am aware of, that I grew up, there's a nostalgia when cable came out and I had to sneak to watch. Let me stop.
You were going to say Cinemax, weren't you?
But anyway, I digress. Branding 101, ride on the horse that brought you to the party, however that saying goes. If that's not the saying, then we're starting a new saying.
Okay, love it. Marcus,
a horse named Max.
A horse named HBO Max. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, got to make sure you got the branding right. Marcus Davis is the owner of the Breakfast Club restaurant, and Charles Kuffner writes the Off the Cuff political blog. Marcus, Charles, thank you both so much.
Thank you.
I've been through the desert on a horse.